Welcome to Mark My Words, a show that searches for the fork in the road in life, the place where the turning point in the journey of entrepreneurship and life can be found. Let's meet each other at the crossroads on Mark My Words. This episode is sponsored by GrowX Labs. Quick question. When you're leading a team or growing a business, who helps you think clearly? GrowX Labs offers executive decision support, real-time access to a trusted strategist who helps you navigate tough calls, leadership blind spots, and everything in between. No fluff, no long-term commitment, just fast, honest insight from someone who gets it. If you're a founder or exec and need a sounding board, go to growxlabs.com/mark. That's grwxlabs.com/mark and book a discovery call today. In recent years, and I know I've talked about this before because I've had another alcohol winemaker on this show at some point, and I wasn't always like a wine person, but as I got older, I became, for some reason, like really into drinking wine and interested. I started going to wineries, and I enjoy, maybe sometimes a little too much, bottle of wine. And that, just saying that like that out loud probably sounds like you know, a wino, which I am not. But I actually don't drink a whole lot, but I love wine. And when I got a message from today's guest, Maddison Violet, who is the, can I say, co-owner, co-founder of VOA Acres, which is a play on the last name Violet that I just learned. I'm just learning a lot of things as I prepped and ramped up this episode here. But today I have one half of the VOA team with me here to talk about not only her story, but also the Violet story, which spans like 6 generations, I believe. Like this, this, this episode has, this could easily be like a 5-part episode just in prepping for it and everything that I've read up on it. And I love when there's just so many layers and so many things to talk about. And I love, we'll talk about like her website and facility. The facility looks gorgeous. I'm all the way in Florida. She's up in Canada. So who knows when I might ever get up there, but it's definitely on my bucket list. But just to talk quickly about Madison, she's an award-winning winemaker. She's a self-proclaimed industry disruptor, one of the founders of VOA Acres Winery and Farm. She doesn't just make wine, she challenges conventions, revive ancient techniques, and reimagine what the future of the beverage industry looks like. And I'm just going to stop rambling and allow Madison to say hello. Welcome to Mark My Words. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It is such an honor, and I can't wait to dive into everything wine with you.
Yeah, like I said, when I saw that message, just the email address, winemaker, I'm like, oh, I bet this is gonna be great. And the more that I studied up on you, your husband's history, and everything in between, I was like, man, I'm really excited to do this episode. With the time we have allotted, I'm going to do the best I can to not only give a sense of the history, like there's a lot, not only of the Violet history, but your history as well. And I can probably kick this off by asking you, was making, like, just being involved in the wine industry, alcohol, beverage, etc., was that something that you dreamed of as you grew up? Was there something else that you wanted to do, perhaps?
Yes. So I never thought that I would be in the alcohol industry. I actually didn't know that you could really make a career out of it. I guess it's not something that they promote at high school career days, you know? I probably would have taken chemistry a lot sooner if I had known that. No, actually, I wanted to go into, actually wanted to be a lawyer. Fun fact. So I was very heavy on like English and social, history, stuff like that. And it was working in a bar setting. They used to do these fancy wine and food pairing dinners, and I was just so interesting, like, why is everyone so excited about this? Why is this a big deal? It's just like it's liquor. You get drunk and you eat food, right? And that really opened up the world of wine, and then it stemmed so much more from just what's in the bottle, how it's grown, the different regions. So my career has been constantly evolving. I've been in the industry now for 10 years. 2026 is officially my 10th year. So I started in 2016, and it was, I wanted more the sommelier side, the restaurant side, and then that led me to working in tasting rooms. That led me to vineyards. That then led me to actually crushing the grapes and learning how to ferment it. And that's now I have my own winery because of that. So it's been cool. It's been fun. But no, definitely did not think I was going to end up here for sure.
And like I said before we hit record, I have been just trying to piece everything together with your story. And I literally figured out a couple minutes before we met up that the huge, like, centuries long history of winemaking was actually on your husband's side, which is just really impressive and mind blowing. And I'm glad that we cleared that up because I'm like, man, how do I like kick this episode off and introduce? And it's just, it's almost a little like overwhelming how much like awesome information and history there is here. Just not only with the history, but just what you guys have built up. And I would be just kind of interested in how you could like just sum up the history on his side since you're the self-proclaimed extrovert. That's why you're here. He's a little more the introvert. And I'd love to hear like just a summary. I know it's a long history and it's impressive when you have an entrepreneur who's been kind of doing it for 50 years or had like parents who were entrepreneurs and then they kind of like were influenced by it. But we're talking about like six generations. So I'd love to just hear it from you and to share with the audience that amazing story.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I feel like I married into wine royalty for Canada. It's the family history is wild. So it starts back in 1866 when the great grandparents decided to get into the wine industry, and they created this aperitif. It was very popular for like World War I, just some crazy stuff. Then after they had to go through World War II as well too, and like we have all this cool propaganda. They built the world's largest wine vat, which still actually holds a Guinness World Record for it. It's over 1 million liters of wine. They have a train system that was built by Gustav Eiffel before he went on to build the Eiffel Tower. His family was very influential in the south of France back in those times, so really neat to be a part of. The winery actually still runs today. It's no longer family owned. It got passed off in the 70s. It was sold. And that's actually when his grandparents decided to come over from Europe to Canada, to this cute little tiny town called Langley, a few hours outside of Vancouver, or 45 minutes outside of Vancouver. And they started actually the first winery here in the Fraser Valley. That was actually the first winery that I started working at back in 2016, or yeah, 2016. So that was kind of cool. Laurent was fortunate enough, which is my husband, to grow up in the winery. So he's like driving his dirt bike up and down the vineyard rows, like on the bottling line when he's 12 years old, playing Lego under the desk as like a little tiny kid. Like he saw everything. His father worked at the winery. His mother worked at the winery. He was the last one still working there, and then I started to work there, and that's actually how we became friends, and then eventually married. But his family is very neat. They've done everything from wine, rum, cognac. They love their spirits. They love their alcohol. So we've decided to carry on that legacy and that dynasty by getting back into the winery business. And we've decided to focus on honey wine and grape wine to at least to start our adventures back, carrying on the lineage.
So, at the time that you two met, and you can more than clear up how I'm kind of like connecting the dots and seeing this, but I feel like you developed a passion and were definitely like trying to navigate your way through the business. Were either one of you, by the time you met, thinking about anything entrepreneurial, whether individually? I know eventually, obviously, you wound up coming together, but was were you even thinking about entrepreneurship, or did that develop once you two met?
That developed after. I was a so what I love the beautiful thing about wine is it's the same around the world. Your degree takes you anywhere, no matter what. So I was fortunate enough to be able to travel. So I went down to New Zealand, then I would come back to Canada, then I went down to Australia, come back to Canada. I spent a lot of time in the States as well, in all of their wine regions. So that's what I was continuing to do. I was actually going to go to South Africa. And then when the pandemic came in and we couldn't travel anywhere, I was confined. I couldn't go. And I was fortunate enough to be actually staying at the winery where Laurent worked. And we just spent a little too much time together. And we got this crazy idea that we should do it ourselves. Laurent's been very entrepreneurial in spirit to begin with. So he's like, no, let's do it. Let's get together. Let's do this winery. If my grandparents can do it, I can do it. Like, why not? And it's like, you know what? Why not? What's the worst that's gonna happen, right? We try something new. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, and that is a really good attitude going into anything entrepreneurial. You can't put too much pressure on yourself to succeed or have the first thing work out, which kind of sounds like the first thing did work out for you. So that's like really amazing. Uh, you talked a bit, and I slipped my mind. You talked about getting a degree, which I found really interesting when I was looking at your LinkedIn, just the winemaker certificate. Talk a little bit about going through that process and what made you decide to take that leap and get like a real official certification.
Yes. So, kind of the fun thing with wine is there's so many different avenues on how you can learn it and how you can become trained. So, like, I got trained as a certified sommelier. Then I decided to do the Wine Spirit Education Trust out of London, England. I got my diploma in that. Actually, I have one more exam to do. I'm this close. I might as well. I've been in school forever. I should just get it honored. So I decided to take that route. And then when I fell in love with the winemaking side, I really needed a more like chemistry understanding. So I actually did a semester upgrade at the University of Oregon for my chemistry, and then did down in UC Davis down in California there, to finish off a winemaker certificate, which is just a 2-year program. It was all online as well too, but it was It was very more on the technical side, which is what I needed in order to make better wine.
And I'm glad that you're mentioning the importance of chemistry because it's almost like being a musician. Not that I'm one, but you can see I'm very fanatical about music, and I know there are some musicians that really study music, and that's how they learn, and that's how they become what they become. There's others who just learn by ear. Now, I know with like making beverages, especially like alcohol, I've stumbled across a few people that never, like, I don't think anybody's ever mentioned chemistry or how any kind of like actual schooling helped them. And this is where I could get in trouble. I keep thinking of Chris Pellegrini, who I had on my show a few years ago. He was really smart, and I I want to feel like he kind of said that he learned his craft just from you know experimenting, but you actually studied chemistry, and it sounds like do you feel like that really upped your game as far as just your craft and creating beverages?
I guess small amount. I would agree with Chris. Winemaking or just like beverage making in general is technically easy. It's when something goes wrong. And it always goes wrong. A fermentation is like a living wild thing. It's never going to ferment the same way. You use the same recipe, but the fruits, like the fruit can be the same fruit, but it's going to be harvested at a different time of year. It's going to have different sugar levels. It's going to have different acidity. There's so many factors that go into it. So it is actually a lot of experimenting. Despite having some certifications and schooling behind me, it really does come down to experience and going through those what went wrong and how do I fix this? And even when something has gone wrong, it's sometimes not always a simple fix either. You have to try a couple different things. Sometimes you can't come back from it. Sometimes you have to blend other products in. Sometimes you have to re-ferment. You can get a stuck fermentation. You're living or working with a living thing, and there's no way that you can duplicate it. And it's a lot of experimenting and experience based for sure.
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you about Chris is that he started learning his craft at like a crazy young age, and it's a wild story, but that's kind of like how he got into it. It's been a while since I did the episode or listened. I'll have to go back. I encourage anybody who is enjoying this episode to also revisit that one. That was a great episode too. But let's get back on track with you here since I just plugged my own show. Uh, let's let's talk a little bit about actually starting this type of business because as far as I can remember, and I've done quite a lot of episodes now, I don't think that I've had anybody on who's like built up like a winery on a farm, and you're doing like a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are going into what your business is. Talk a little bit about like starting it up because I can remember reading that you guys had to like go shop around for just the right kind of land that spoke to you. And I'm telling your own story. I'll let you tell your story. Talk a little bit about that and just the process, how easy, how hard, anything else you want to add.
All right. It was definitely hard. Some things were fun, some things were easy. For the most part, it was definitely hard though. We spent a good year and a half trying to find a property because we knew that we wanted to build the winery on the property that we purchased, like that we were going to live on. So it was really a matter of finding a property that, what do they say, has good bones. Like the base had to be there, and then we were going to build off that. We tried to stay down in the Fraser Valley. We're now in the Okanagan Valley, which is about 3.5, 4 hours away. Yeah, we ended up finding this spectacular property that had everything that needed to be great. So it needed a lot of love, a little bit of attention, things like that, but that's okay. We could put our own twist on it. And we packed up our bags and moved away from our friends and our family and our support network and started from the ground up. We had to go through extensive renovations. We had to build things from scratch. My husband's completely re-leveled the entire property. So we have 11 acres in order to make it suitable to grow grapes. You got your slopes of your land and the water runoff. You have to factor in all of that. Put a lot of love and care into the soil. If you have happy soil, you will have happy grapes. It's been a lot. We went through not only being property owners for the first time, but large property owners. We had to go through building permits and city politics. We had to go through contractors, sometimes botched contractors. That was pretty big for us. We had a faulty contractor, and we actually had to build our tasting room not once, but twice. We were actually a few months away from opening, and we had to strip our tasting room right back down to the studs again because there was a lot of faulty work that was done, and we missed out on that entire year. But you got to persevere, you got to get through it. It was building a brick and mortar business. It's different from online where you just close your website and move on, right? So we had already made it so far, we had to keep going. There's been a lot of hurdles like that. Figuring out, even just like with equipment, just how I've changed the tasting room 3 times. I think this is the first year I'm not doing any extensive renovations to it because we just like to listen to our customers and enhance the experience. So it's different landscaping, it's adding this, taking that away, putting more shelves in, taking the shelves away. It's what do the customers want? The cellar, we pretty much nailed the first time around in terms of setup. So that was pretty cool. It's yeah, the vineyard, the first year we planted the vineyards, we planted 2 acres, baby vines, and that year we had minus 35 degrees. That's in Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's really cold. Vines don't like to be really past minus 30, so that was a shocker for us. So we did lose about 40% of our vineyard that first year, which was really upsetting. But that's okay, whatever. You just keep going, right? The second year, we also had really, really bad negative temperatures again as well too. So we didn't lose too much more from that. It was just kind of overall. So it's been a lot.
So when you two decided to go in on doing this, I mean, A, did he especially have any kind of idea of how to do this? Like, how do you plan? How do you like know like what steps to take? Because I, for one, would need to draft an entire plan. I would also need to go to your school and get certified and do a lot of other things, maybe take a part-time job at your facility on top of it. And I, if I wouldn't even know where to begin with something like that. So, what was that process like, and what advice could you give? What would you change? Too many questions at once, but
Oh, that's
well,
all good. We did a lot of research. I mean, I've, as top of working in wineries in different parts of the country, also toured extensively lots of wineries. It was just a lot of research, just checking out other people, talking to other winemakers, other tasting room staff. What do you like? What do you don't like? Things like that. What systems work? What kind of programs work? A lot of research. I feel like we probably should have done more research, but I don't know if maybe the research could ever end. We did, like, we went through, we had like a business coach, we had a business plan. I have not read the first draft of our business plan since we started. I don't even know if I would recognize it because so many things changed as you're going, and whatever it says on paper, trying to actually put it to real life is so different. The execution of everything was so different, and you run into hurdles, right? Like it's, oh, your permit is going to take 6 months longer. Oh, your licensing is taking 8 months longer, and we just had to pivot constantly. There was a glass shortage that we went through, and we couldn't buy the glass bottles that we wanted, so we had to find a different supplier. We had to find a different style glass, which included getting a different type of cork, and it just kind of never really ends. So our perfect little plan turned out to be the complete opposite of what we did actually execute. Advice would be you have to be adaptive for sure. Staying creative while building systems strong enough to support that creativity is definitely a big thing. And then you have to balance your creativity with financial discipline. I know in some areas we haven't been as disciplined as we should have, but the creativity is there, so okay. Collaboration as well, I think, is the difference between surviving and closing. You have to build a community, you have to collaborate, you have to put yourself out there, you have to meet people, you have to talk to people, and people that just started, people that have been in the industry for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. It's, you just really need to get that full picture, but it's never going to go out perfect. It's not going to be what you originally started with either. Even just as ourselves personally, I don't think I would recognize myself from 3 years ago because we've gone through so much growth. Looking at like historical images of the property from where we started to now, it's just like, whoa. And it's like, we did that. And it's very easy to get stuck in your imposter syndrome as well too, but you have to just put it out there. If you're not embarrassed by the first copy that you put out, you waited too long to launch. Like it's, the clarity comes after of the doing, not before. So you just got to try it, see if it works. Don't keep doing it if it doesn't work, but put it out there, try it, doesn't work, move on, try something else, and kind of just keep going. And now we're going to be in our fourth summer this year. And I think where we started like here, and now it's like, okay, we're quite refined now. We did a lot of experimenting with different wines. We love to do direct to consumer as our main clientele because we talk to our customers. We ask them, do you like this? Do you want something different? What don't you like about it? What do you like about it? Is there other fruits you want, other styles you want? And they give us direct feedback. And then we take that and we find those fruits and we put those practices in, and then we try it again the following year in hopes that it's even better.
You say a lot of really awesome stuff there because creativity is something that I feel like people get stuck on a lot and they don't feel like whether you're an entrepreneur or not, there are people, a lot of people out there who don't realize how creative they are. And I have to imagine it's one thing that you could just open up a winery and just be like, cool, I have a winery and I have a farm, and not put any of that additional creative thought into it. Like I just going to your website, like it's clear to me how much thought and creativity that you guys have put into all of this, and it certainly shows. And I also want to give a shout out to your mention of imposter syndrome because that is something that has been like a very big thing for me just talking to people on this show. And I'm not gonna rehash my entire life story, but I know that I had to dig pretty deep just to get this far in overcoming imposter syndrome, just as far as me being born with like a rare syndrome and being self-conscious about, oh, people are gonna think I sound weird, who's gonna want to watch me, etc. And to your kind of your point, if I had hem and hawed about all of that, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I mark my words with still just being an idea in my head. and not an actual thing. And that's one of the things that, like a big thing, that you need to kind of get over the hump with, as far as probably, I guess, anything in life, but especially if you want to have like your own business and make it a reality, you have to be able to get past that. And just to speak to one of your other points, like, my first season, my first episodes are, like, completely different as far as, like, the confidence that I have compared to now. Now I feel like a real host, and I feel really comfortable, although those intros I put myself through, I still agonize about, but I mean, you have to like go through those growing pains, and you almost have to just say, you know what, even if it doesn't look exactly the way I envision, or in my case, I don't sound quite the way I envision, just keep doing it and keep working at it, and it will get better.
Yeah, yeah, it's you just I think it's fantastic if you're embarrassed by your previous stuff because that means that you're growing. Like it's we're not perfect people. We're never how are we supposed to be perfect and execute it great if we've never done it before? Like I think we're so hard on ourselves and there's no reason to. It's there's no reason to. Our friends still love us. Our family still loves us. They everything that we put out, they support. It's our the community, our customers still love us. Like they, it's fantastic. It's I know it's so easy to get caught in I guess a negative mindset where it's just like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? Why did I say that? Why did I say it that way? Like it's why do I talk with my hands so much? Put them down.
Yeah,
You
you
just gotta
did
keep going.
mention the whole talking with your hands. I'm not even noticing, and I guess that's because I'm hosting this and trying to do a good job. So,
We're just out here trying our best, and that's all we can ask for. And if someone wants to point it out that it's not our best, it's like, I don't need you as a customer. So
well, let's talk a little bit about, like, you guys obviously need help running the place, and I know for me, a big insecurity, like, I have to imagine you guys could never be solopreneurs of this business. At least for me, I feel like that's something I can still pull off. And I have not put myself through the process of trying to hire, I don't know, a virtual assistant or whatever kind of thing I could maybe use as help. I'm sure it would help. Uh, Talk a little bit about like the hiring process and just delegating, because this is a huge deal. This winery and farm that you're running, and you're putting a lot of love and care, so you want the right people in there representing you.
it's very tough to find the right people for sure. We've gone through lots of people. We've gone through lots of contractors, lots of companies that we work with, suppliers. It is very tough. I've had to hire friends. I've had to fire those same friends. Sometimes it works out where we're still able to maintain the friendship outside of it. Sometimes I've had to lose friendships over it. The delegation is hard. At some point it's like, is it me? Am I not being a better boss? So it's like, okay, I have to focus on being better to my staff and make sure I'm training them right and that they have all of the resources in front of them in order so that they can do their job. It's on hiring is probably one of the toughest things that I've had to experience, especially when someone's not able to do their job properly or things like that. Like the firing just sucks anybody if they're your friend or you don't know them or it's they were only there for 2 weeks and it's a contractor, whatever. It's tough. The social aspect of it is tough. And then you like see them. We live in a small town, so I see them out and about places and it's like, "Hey, like it's okay to talk. Like nothing is bad. Like there is no bad energy. It's just it just didn't work out for whatever reason, right? Like it's a No, that's been a tough one for sure. We're still on the journey of figuring it out.
I can't even imagine if, like, I know we've only met this one time, but if I worked for you and then you fired me and then we crossed paths, I certainly wouldn't know how to act. Like, that's just that's a situation I don't even know if I want to analyze here.
It's
That's
nice if you can avoid it for sure. It's you never want to be a bad not a bad person, but you don't want to go into like it's just not good energy. Like I want to stay happy and fun and bubbly and just like sell some wine and make sure the doors are locked at the end of the day. Like we're not asking a lot. But it's, you know what, everyone's on their own journey, doing their own stuff, and people have personal things that come up, and, it's right? Like, it's like, I'm sorry your boyfriend broke up with you, but like, I do need you here to run this tasting room shift. Like, I get it, but like, I also like I need to rely on you at the same time, and it's just a balancing act. We're all just people at the end of the day.
and I feel like that's a great attitude. I think it's stern, but also like compassionate and empathetic at the same time. And I really I enjoy that attitude. And I think I'm going to take a cue from you and avoid more talk on this as I hit the mic. And let's talk a little bit about what you're actually creating here at the winery. Do you have I'm guessing just from the research that I'm doing, you do have like your own brands that you're creating, correct?
Yes, we have 3 lines right now. Actually, I guess technically 4. So we have our honey wine or our mead. That's like our fun, quirky, we do crazy cartoony labels. We do weird combinations of fruit. Like we have guava, Sauv Blanc, honey. I made a mojito style wine. So it was apple, lime, mint. That's like the fun, experimental, throw it in a tank and see if it works. We have our winemaker series, so that's more of like our serious. That's where the wine snob comes in, like that's the serious, the ooh yes, this red wine smells like red wine. It's so those we do small lot batches. We're about 1,500 liters and under when we do those wines, and it's just like a very small, minute process that we really put a lot of love and care and attention into. We recently ventured into doing a house wine style, which that's like the go-to affordable everyday drinker. And then we just launched a non-alcoholic wine brand called Muse just last February.
So talk a little bit about like the events that you hold, the wine tasting and just anything else that you might do. I was trying to pull that up on your site, but I'm not actually seeing any events posted right now. So
No, so the winery's actually not open yet. We only open May long to September long. We're like that peak summer, let's go. We
yeah.
have a lot of outdoor space. We don't have a large indoor space, which was definitely something that we overlooked at the beginning when we were building, which because you don't know until you're doing it. So we kind of have to cater to the weather. We have been open earlier, but we get so many rains sometimes. So it's that it's not really worth it to be open because it's just wet and muddy and people don't want to be out drinking in that context, right? They want to be inside, warm, cozy. So, for anyone building something, make sure that you're catering to the effects of the weather as well. So, have good indoor and good outdoor space. Outside of that, though, so events. So we do actually free tastings in the tasting room. Up to obviously a certain amount of wines. There's also a paid tasting that you can do as well. That's more in depth. We do wine flights, so you can get a paddle. It's 4 different wines of your choosing, and then you can hang out in our picnic area outside in the grassiness, and just hang out with your friends and drink wine. We do a lot of fun events. So we do outdoor movies on Friday nights. We do live music and barbecue on Sundays. We do a Barbie party every year. So everyone gets to dress up like their favorite Barbie doll and come party in the sunshine. That's always fun. We're gonna do a couple more themed parties. Ooh, some murder mysteries. We like to do
Ooh,
murder mysteries.
very nice. So I was hoping for more there. I guess I could, yeah, you were just on a roll, going and going and going there. But I could probably give you a break because I forget I'm in sunny Florida, even though it is cold right now. I don't even know you said minus 35 degrees Celsius right now. I don't even know what that is. I want to look that up, but I don't want too much dead air here while we're talking. But one thing that I've noticed just as I did my homework on this episode is I know that there was a lot of emphasis. Now, I know you and your husband are in on this business together, and I personally love having like female entrepreneurs on this show just to kind of like show the world that, hey, women are doing this too. It's not a boys' club. There's actually quite a lot of women doing amazing things. And it seems like there is like, I hate to say a lot of emphasis, but I know that you've addressed that a lot. And I would love to hear, especially you being in such a like particular niche like winemaking to just talk about the role you feel you're playing as a not only female entrepreneur but a female entrepreneur in this particular industry. Like I don't even want to guess if it's male dominated or not. I can let you
What, right?
speak to that, but would love your take on that.
Okay, well, I don't have enough wine. No, it's okay. Just kidding. No, it's definitely a male-dominated industry for sure. It's been tough. That's the one nice thing about my husband is he is so supportive and like yes we're in this together but he's very much like you have an idea we're doing it. It's like let me explain it, like let's see if it makes. He's like no, absolutely done, we're doing it, that's genius, never heard of something better. It's like well no okay it's maybe, and he's like no we're doing it. Like he's so, it's just yeah he's so supportive of my own hopes and dreams and like things that I want. It's been very tough in the industry, especially also being younger in the wine industry as well too. So it's like both fronts. One, I'm young. Two, I'm a female. That should actually be the best thing. But in the wine industry, it is old boys club, and I've missed out on job opportunities because of it. I don't get taken as seriously sometimes, and sometimes I maybe understand on the serious side, but like I'm allowed to be fun and bubbly and say cheeky things. That's not a reflection of my work or my skill. Like I'm just a fun person to be around. Like we don't have to be old and so serious all the time, like whatever, like that's not a reflection of skill. So that's unfortunate that there's other people out there in the world that aren't getting their opportunity and chance to do it just purely because that they are a woman. But there's been a good shift in the market lately. There is a lot more female winemakers. There's a lot more recognition going on. It's yeah, it's I like it. It's getting there more. Another common thing actually is a lot of people they'll come into the tasting room, they're like, oh, can I talk to a manager or something? And they won't believe it's me. No, it is. And they're like, there's someone more higher up. I'm like, no, it really ends here. Like it's the
and
train
I
ride is short.
And I love that for you because I wish that I had come across an idea when I was like 20 years younger where I could have enjoyed a dynamic like that. And I know just for me, having a day job with the kind of flexibility that I have and the quality of life, to be able to do this and to, have such a great job and everything. Like, that's something after everything I've done and worked for and at, I certainly don't take that for granted. And I would love to just hear your thoughts on the like what this kind of business has brought to your quality of life.
Oh, well, if you take out all of the learning experiences and the hardships and the crying myself to sleep sometimes and maybe indulging a little too much in wine due to stress, or there's been lots of times where we haven't, it's like, is this the right idea? Like, are we insane? Or are we just, you got to risk it for the biscuit. I think it's led so much quality to my life because we weren't just opening a winery, we were choosing and building a lifestyle. So with the agriculture, the farming, we also raise animals for therapy and for eating as well too. The hospitality, I do love the hospitality industry. There are some negative sides to it, but that's any business has that though. Just being able to nurture the land that we're on. We're mostly a no spray farm, so we use our animals for weed control. We use their manure. We just kind of let the land breathe, and like we have so much wildlife on our land despite us also having an insane amount of animals. There's just birds everywhere, and like the deer come by, and it's just that's so cool. It's not something that you can just walk away from. So that's led a lot of quality to my life. Again, we're on 11 acres. So, like, we can go quadding on our property. We go for walks and dirt biking. We have a beach volleyball court that my husband built for me. We have a disc golf, 9-hole disc golf course as well, too. We play bocce in the fields and stuff. So we never leave our property. And I don't know why we would, because we have everything that we could ever want here. So, and we're on a mountainside. We actually have beautiful mountain views and lake views. So, like, we're in our own little paradise and we can do whatever we want here. And I love that. I think people often ask me, what does success look like? And I think success is being able who you want to be.
I love it. I I don't have anything to say off of that. That is just perfect. I don't know what 35 or minus 35 degrees Celsius really is. I'll have to look it up. If I knew that the weather up there was like Florida, I'd be like, maybe you should build a little cot or something on that land. Everything you described just sounds awesome. So, in other words, I won't be seeing you in New York City working in a corporate job anytime soon.
No, definitely not. Actually, mind you, winemaking though, as romantic as it sounds, it is a lot of paperwork though. Like I spend so much time on computer stuff, paperwork, spreadsheets, systems. But you eventually get into the cellar, you get into the vineyard, and that's the nice part.
Well, let's round all this out by giving you the opportunity to tell everybody how they can find you, how they can collaborate or work with you, and anything else you want to add.
Absolutely. So we can't ship to the States yet. We're working on our FDA approval, but it'll be a slow process until we get there. But if any of your listeners and viewers want to visit us, we are located in Summerland in Okanagan Valley in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Our products actually are all throughout BC, and actually some of them are across Canada as well too. So maybe if you're close, if you're in New York, you can pop up to Ottawa there, and anywhere in Ontario or Montreal, Quebec, get our products as well too. We are online on Instagram, Facebook, our website. If you DM us for a collab or something, it'll be me that's answering you, and I would love to. I'd love to hear feedback from anyone. I love to collab with anyone. We are here to get the VOA name out there and get people to visit us. We also do, we have RV stays as well too. So you can come in your RV, you can bring the family, bring the dog, come camp at our winery for the weekend. Then we become real friends.
Well, I'll tell you what, I look at the metrics enough to know that there are at least some people out of Canada listening to this show. So do yourself and Madison a favor and dropping on Violet Acres because it sounds really wonderful. And Madison, you were amazing. I had a blast talking to you and learning all the history with you, hubby, and your amazing facility. And I wish you both just all the best moving forward. And I thank you for being on Mark My Words.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fantastic meeting you, and I'm so excited to see where both of our journeys are going to take us over this next year.
As am I. I am really excited. I have a lot going on in my mind. Speaking of business plans earlier, I gotta get my mind a little more organized on that. But that's neither here nor there because we're at the end of this episode. So, Madison, thank you so much for being on Mark My Words. I am your host, Mark Schmidt, and I will see you soon with another episode. Thanks a lot. Bye for now. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to go on a journey with me into entrepreneurship and life on Mark My Words. If you would like to learn more about me and the show, you can find me on LinkedIn at Mark Schmidt or connect with me on Instagram at Nimrod79. Video episodes of Mark My Words, as well as other content, can also be found on the Mark My Words YouTube page. Entrepreneurship can be quite the roller coaster ride. It can be a bit isolating and intimidating, but it doesn't have to be that way. Let's meet here next time at the crossroads on another episode of Mark My Words.